Feature Friday.
The freshest.
What's that? What's that?
What's a woodpecker at minus 14?
Oh man.
Welcome to Feature Friday Plus.
There you go. That was kind of synchronized. That was really weird. Do you remember kids shows used to do that all the time? You were like,
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Yeah. And so we should do that for Feature Friday. Draw something.
A penis.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, mate. If, I feel like sometimes you say, when you like.
Who are you calling mates?
When you do a video and people click on the video.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
mates.
I feel like the thanks for watching shouldn't be at the end. It should be at the beginning. Because it's, thanks for, coming by.
Yeah,
sort of
but
like if
they
you had a
haven't
guest.
even seen anything yet. So
But they clicked on it.
thanks for watching.
Yeah, true, yeah. We thought,
Why am I so hyper all of a sudden? I was like,
Don't know.
3 seconds ago, I was like,
you've had a lot of coffee. I feel this is not in the mood. You've had a lot of coffee. Which
Maybe
I think
just
that is
kicked
problematic.
in.
That has to be problematic.
That's not problematic. I just
You know
get
how
the
people-
jitters.
You know how people
And I
always say...
start shaking like a chihuahua.
You know how people always say, like coffee is the thing they need and all that bollocks.
I don't think I need it, but
you
it does
wouldn't-
help.
But you wouldn't be able to live without it.
No, I can. I can.
Prove it.
Why? Why do I
Prove
have to prove it?
to yourself that you don't need coffee to operate.
I know I don't need it, but I still drink it. I enjoy it.
So you actually like the flavor of it.
Yeah, I do. I love drinking like black coffee without sugar or anything in it. Like
Yeah.
I like the coffee taste.
I think those are good
Actually-
signs of psychopathy.
So fantastic, thank you.
I'm joking.
Uh,
It's just very sour. I've rarely
It's
had
not
coffee.
sour.
Like, what do you call it?
bitter.
Bitter, that's the right word.
I just think I grew up with the smell and the taste and I like with my grandma. I used to drink black coffee, but she used to give me decaf.
Right.
But I was still like the taste and like that, for me coffee meant something so much more than just a hot beverage.
It's sort of like the experience in the mornings and
Yeah.
that sort of family feel and,
Yeah,
and sort of
it's
talking to
something-
the family.
Yeah, it's something very, I don't know, it's something very wholesome to me. It's
Yeah.
and I love when I go out with my parents or with friends and stuff to just drink coffee and I think it's such a great
I
bonding
feel like
time.
here it's less here in Europe actually in general. The only thing where apparently it is kind of the same, ironically, we just covered it on Friday's podcast, is Philippines, where it is sort of like that with coffee in the mornings.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of similarities between both cultures.
I was gonna say a
Um,
lot of similarities.
But I find in Europe,
It's more about the tea.
no, coffee as well. Coffee is a huge deal. Tea isn't that big of a deal as I thought it would be here. I thought people only drank tea here in London, but they don't.
It's a huge deal.
No, but coffee, it's still, I feel, the most popular choice.
Yeah,
it
it's
goes
still a
coffee,
very-
then tea.
No, I think here in Britain goes tea, then coffee.
I would disagree.
No,
I would disagree, and I'm probably more London than you are.
Yeah, no, but you haven't spent so much time with no.
Yeah.
You haven't hung
No,
out
they-
with theater people.
Yeah, but that's theatre people. That's one.
That's the most British thing you could do.
Yeah, but that's
Hang around with theater people.
that's a clique. That's a clique. That's not the overall population. They're the minority, probably.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I love how every Sunday Efra comes out with some type of dig to the theater community.
Any chance I get.
I don't know where the hatred comes from.
I don't have any hatred to it. I don't hate anyone. I just, don't enjoy the theatre.
It's such a great experience.
Yeah, it's alright. It's not bad.
What do you like? Do you like going to the theater? Is that something that you have been exposed to?
Forget about theatre. It's the point I was saying.
Do you like tea or coffee? Are
No.
you a coffee gang or a tea gang?
The point I was trying to make was,
But
I
like true
find-
coffee, not like lattes and foamy stuff. No, like true coffee, like Americano, like negro.
yeah, I find here coffee is the most popular choice.
What
But
are you?
I don't care. I don't drink coffee and I rarely drink tea, so I drink water, gang. Stay hydrated.
Quenched.
Stay wet.
Feature Friday Plus, stay wet.
That's sort of
'Cause
when
the
I
other
bring.
way-
That's sort of I'll bring triple X actresses to the show, and I'll interview them, and that would be the logo.
That'll be them in the beginning.
Feature Friday.
Plus, stay wet.
18 plus, stay wet. It's good. That's a good slogan.
It doesn't have to be 18 plus, because we said we were the freshest.
Yeah.
In Feature
Yeah, but
Friday.
if I'm bringing adult stars to the show,
but why the hell would you bring adult stars to the show? Are they making music?
oh
No,
well, yeah, it is
duh.
a music show only, isn't it? Sorry, I was just vicariously living or imagining living my dream job.
Yeah. No, but honestly, stay wet sounds like overly sexual.
It does, yeah. That's why it came up to my head. But anyways, the point I was trying to make was, apart from the
Sundays.
fact that here I feel coffee it's the most popular option, I find tea and coffee in Europe are more sort of like a solo experience. Very rarely in the mornings, early mornings, do people, their family wakes up together to have tea or coffee.
Oh yeah, that doesn't happen.
In South America,
That
that
is
happens.
it,
It's just
yeah.
like, well, you know, time to go to school, parents are awake, grandma's awake, or you're awake, or
Everybody
time to go to
has
job.
coffee together.
Let's serve coffee, let's talk for 5 minutes. Okay, I've got to go, kiss, goodbye.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to happen that often here.
No, actually, that's not it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
what
right.
it does happen is afternoon tea or afternoon coffee, which, or we know tea and biscuits and all stuff. That's lovely. That's their version of the morning version.
Yeah, true.
In South America, we
Cafecito.
wouldn't really have evening as an actual time.
No, we used to have meriendas, but that's usually like a merienda was like
On the run.
around five
Yeah.
o'clock, and it was just like
A
grab
snack.
a pan de bono and a hot chocolate and get out.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. It isn't like in here. Well, talking about actually just the fact that I mentioned the Philippines, which is really weird, but one of you guys sent me this article, which I thought was super interesting, because we were questioning why singing is such a popular thing in the Philippines, right? And then one of you said, well, have a look at this article, which explains the reason why basically the Philippines was the first country to make singing a home recreational activity through, of course, the invention of karaoke.
That's awesome.
So-
So it was invented in the Philippines.
So it was actually the BBC wrote this, so it's a reliable source, and it says the world's first karaoke machine, the Duke 8, was built by a Japanese inventor and musician Daisuke Inu in 1971. So the karaoke machine
70s.
is very
it's
recent,
Pretty recent.
but it is a Filipino inventor, Roberto del Rosario, who holds the machine's patent.
Oh wow! Really?
He developed the karaoke sing-along system in 1975.
Wow! So 5 years later.
About
4
4 years
years
later.
later.
So really, karaoke and singing along as a recreational activity, it's fairly new. Like, people weren't
I
doing
didn't
that.
know.
Me neither. People
I
weren't
thought
doing
that
that.
was like part of like the 50s.
How-
Something you were doing the 50s.
How
or
bizarre is that?
something.
And then he says, since then, singing has become a part of central pop culture in the Philippines. Singing is the focus of several modern reality shows and game shows, and every Filipino celebrity, even boxers like Manny Pacquiao, enjoys singing publicly. It's sort of like
It's like the
Well, they're
nation's pastime.
I guess. What would be like? It would be like that's their version of Domino's for.
Or no, that's their version of futbolito back home.
I guess back home, truly would be bolas criolla, wouldn't it?
Good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody plays bolas criollas.
Here in Britain, it would be football. Maybe in America, it would be baseball,
Baseball,
or
yeah.
American football.
Yeah.
But yeah, there
It's singing.
it's singing.
That's freaking insane.
Yeah, and
I
I
adore
also
that.
think I mentioned it before, but no one really replied to that part of the podcast, where I said I think basketball is really popular there too.
Yeah, it is. It is very popular.
However, they don't have like a really strong, or not strong. I don't know about their talent level. I know nothing about basketball, so stay, don't roast because it is. But they don't seem to have a major popular league, basketball league.
Maybe it's big in the country.
Probably it's the same as like in
And
Venezuela.
then, like our baseball league,
Or the-
it's so big in South America.
Oh, the basketball league used to be huge. You know, Trotamundo.
Good point.
The problem
Our
is,
basketball
because
was big. Yeah.
the funding of sporting events and stuff like that went to crap. Just like the country
Has
itself.
always been crap. Even
Yeah.
when the country was acceptable at an acceptable place.
Yeah.
Like in the 60s, 70s. even then.
No, in the
They-
80s, 90s, 2000, it was fine.
No, but even then they had problems with funding.
Yeah.
They come from the government. Sports and arts have never been the center of attention in Venezuela. They have never really been like.
Well,
They've never really had a golden era when it comes to like governmental funding.
yeah, well, we're not known worldwide for sports talent or arts. Really, we're
No.
known either for beauty
Yeah.
or, I guess, to some extent back in the day, tourism.
Yeah. Good point. But I think
Baseball, Major League Baseball, we were known for.
Oil.
Oil,
That's
of
what they're
course,
known
yeah,
for.
petroleum, yeah.
That's
Oil.
what they're known for.
Yeah, so I thought that was super interesting because then all these different sort of like karaoke machines started being invented, and then that's when they started creating karaoke bars in the Philippines too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and one of the most popular tracks ever was in the karaoke scene is "My Way" by Frank Sinatra.
No way.
So this be like,
I did it my way.
So you get free. That's why I remember when we went to like someone's house for like New Year's, and that was the thing to do. Let's sing.
Yeah. Whenever you went to any Filipino household, that's what you went to do. You went to eat adobo and just sing in the karaoke machine.
There's a bunch of other foods I don't remember.
Halo. Oh my god, I could just eat mountains and mountains of that stuff.
What was that stuff they used to put? Was it like baba tea or something?
No, halo.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, halo is like shaved ice with like condensed milk and different syrups.
Como
And they
raspado.
have like but they have like jelly bits and like fruits and like ube flavored ice flavored ice cream as well. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's like leche condensada. With
that sounds
like,
alright actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
everything's yummy as
That sounds
hell.
alright. Yeah, I wonder if you are watching from the Philippines, and we just did a Philippine special, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will be from, or some of you guys at least will be from the Philippines.
Hello, my primos.
I wonder if in your family that's also the case, because that might be sort of like the generalization, but I don't know whether that would be genuinely true.
Well, based on the people that
On
we
the response,
know,
I think it
and
is.
the response that we've gotten, I think that's it.
What about dance?
Oh, anybody dances. They dance. They love to dance.
Because
In
that's
parties.
South America is dance.
Yeah.
I guess.
And that's true. Instead of
Singing.
singing, we would dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
there
so true.
it seems.
Like we would have a few beers and just sit in the porch of or in front of our house and
dance.
just put music and start dancing, and then
Yeah.
the whole quadra, like the
Start-
whole block, starts dancing with
Yeah.
you.
Very, very
Yeah.
interesting. Very interesting.
And then
how-
back home, everybody plays an instrument.
Something, yeah,
Yeah, anybody
something.
can play anything. Like charrasca, I don't even know how you call that. Like the cuatros, there's always somebody
guitar,
can
piano,
do something.
drums. They know how to, I don't
Do
know, sticks and hit them on the ground.
Anything, yeah. You can make music out of anything. That's actually a thing back home.
I wonder if it's the same in the Philippines. What other thing that I thought was really interesting after watching the Philippines special? Oh yeah, one of the comments, which was super nice, was that a lot of people were mentioning that the fact that some of the artists we have covered on the channel
Okay.
and we have sort of featured, if you like, that they're very close to the reaction community,
Oh.
and they sort of sometimes. Sometimes music reviewers or other musicians that have started on YouTube, they sometimes go to the Philippines, and then some of these artists
Collaborate.
not collaborate, but meet them and spend some time together and
That
maybe
is so
discuss stuff.
fun.
That's awesome. I think, I believe that most artists,
And most people speak English out there.
that's true. It's the second most spoken language.
Yeah.
So I believe.
Anyone speaks it. So everyone and everybody. That's pretty cool.
True. And then apparently Chavacano
Chavacano is a thing. It's
from
like
there,
it's
just kind of like Spanish.
yeah, it's like a dialect that comes from Spanish.
Yeah. I bet it sounds a bit different. There was this. I remember there was this person. She was quite an elderly woman, and she would always tell me. She was in one of the tennis clubs I used to train at when I was younger, and she would always tell me that her grandmother used to speak a version of Spanish that was so old no one no longer speaks it. She was from the Philippines.
Maybe that is it.
Maybe I don't remember what it was like. They would even she would remember a few words, and it wouldn't even be close. but it would have the same sort of intonation and R's and stuff like that. But it's
So
very bizarre
interesting.
how weird like Spanish has evolved and stuff like that.
It is. I think it also depends on the area and like the cultural influences of the place, you know?
Yeah. What
So
language would you
interesting.
like to learn?
I would love to learn. I would love to finish learning Italian because I'm like kind of like understand it and kind of don't, and it's. I would love to just go ahead and speak it. Also,
I just want to have the accent when I speak English.
Italian accent,
Yeah.
like New York, yours.
Like a mob lord.
Like a mafia lord.
Yeah.
No, I would like to finish up learning Italian properly and perhaps French. I like how French sounds.
Yeah, French and Korean are high on my list.
Korean also. I think Korean, but I think Korean I have like a long way to go. Like I don't even know where it comes from.
The,
Like you
the
know.
problem is I'm not genuinely passionate about learning a language.
I would like to be exposed.
Yeah, it's not.
in the.
It's not like a burning passion of mine. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I
I
see.
want to learn it.
Yeah.
I want to play it. I want to play with someone that speaks it. I want to, play with people from all over the world. But I don't want to learn the language to speak it fluently.
Well,
I
think
would if I had to, though.
that's I think that would be my thing. If I would like to learn Korean, but not by I read it in a book. I kind of learn how the language works. But I think I would like to learn it like the strict way. So I would move to Korea for a little
For a
bit.
good while, and then,
yeah, and try to get around without speaking English. You know.
Yeah, but then the risk of that is then you don't really become grammatically very sound.
Yeah, I know it doesn't matter. I actually kind of like that better though.
Why?
Because you got a whole experience out of it.
Rather than the sort of academia side of it.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
if because that's how I kind of learned Italian. Like it was through exposure,
The
right?
thing about Italian is there's so many dialects, isn't it?
Yes. So depending on where you are in the area, even the language itself kind of changes
Jesus.
because the dialects and the accents are so strong.
That's rough.
Yeah, because if you go all the way down the south,
Yeah.
it sounds completely different to what people sound in Rome. And then if you go all the way up to north,
So like beef. Is
beef-
there like beef between?
I don't know. So I know that some regions don't like other regions for
Well, just because the way they talk.
no, for cultural differences.
Right.
And certain beliefs and stuff. But yeah, but the dialects are so different that some people from Rome or from the central area of Italy make fun of the people that speak a certain way because they're from the north or the south, you know.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, but it really changes. Like it takes you a toll. Like it takes you a minute. It's like when you're here in London and you hear somebody who's Scottish, but like proper Scottish. It's kind of like
You
the
might
same.
have a slightly harder time in understanding them,
Yeah, but
you'll
sometimes
still be able to understand them.
yeah, but sometimes they use certain words that don't mean might not mean exactly the same thing.
I see.
So there's a lot of misunderstandings a lot of the time. But yeah, if I had to move to a country,
Yeah.
I would definitely move to Italy.
Italy. I think I probably, because I know so little of it, I'd probably give Korea a go.
Yes, but I would love to go not to like any part of Korea. I would love to live in Seoul, in the center of the city.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of country and all that stuff. Like.
No, I do, but I think I wouldn't get like the whole experience.
You see,
if I
some may argue it's the same with London. London is so different. London's a different country, dude.
It is.
To England.
You don't really get the English experience.
Yeah, like it's so different. It's people there are so different too. Like if you're in central, it's so different that if you're in the outskirts, and if
Yeah.
you're in the outskirts of London, then it's so different if you're way out of London.
Yeah,
you're
in the country,
You know,
yeah.
you're in maybe you're in the coast or you're way
and it's
east.
a completely different. Yeah, it's a completely different vibe.
You really get England when you're away from London.
It's true.
You really
it's
get
true.
London when you're in London. So
It's-
I reckon it could happen the same in South Korea.
I think if I move to South Korea, if I move to Seoul, and have a cool apartment with a cool view in Seoul, right?
That's not bad, yeah.
Just like rented, because you know.
Everybody likes that
everybody
idea.
likes that idea. Who's with me? Hands up. Yeah, but then be there for a little while, like 6 months in the city, and then I'll probably venture out to like go to Jeju Island and be on the coast of South
So
Korea.
like the romantic place.
Yeah, it's really beautiful though. But it's the coast.
Like Brighton.
I don't know.
Equivalent.
Maybe,
Yeah, equivalent.
maybe I don't know.
Oh,
But,
you know what?
yeah.
Talking about Korea. Okay, I'm swiftly moving through. This was I think we watched, what was it? That video that had these K-pop idols auditioning for the first time.
Oh yes.
And before we recorded that video, we had planned actually to try and dive a little bit further into what it's like to be trained as a K-pop idol.
Mhm.
Right? Now, it turns out it's like a big bloody secret.
Yeah, there's very little information, and
It's
I
very
know.
general or not very reliable sources.
I was gonna say, a lot of you have sent beautiful. Thank you so much over Twitter. You have been incredibly supportive, and any questions that we ask, you are so quick to answer over there on Twitter. So thank you very much. Monica is reading the messages. Monica is sending the links through. We are having your request put in our list. So please be patient. But yeah, a lot of people have sent us information through about the auditioning system and what it's like and the living of the life itself, but the sources of the information aren't really deeply rooted, so they're not like big names of big people,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
the BBC or at KBS or something like that has a bit of hold.
I guess, I mean,
And and sometimes the information can be twisted and misled easily, especially in articles on the internet when anyone and everybody can write something up. So
my only
it
concern is, it's not that, I don't know.
It's
if
hard to
if we
find
make a
what is
mistake, we
right.
make a mistake. We read an article that was actually wrong, and I'm sure you guys would correct us and stuff like that. My concern is I actually want to genuinely know what's
exactly,
what.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's not about us being wrong, but I just say that it just leaves you with more questions, and then there are no answers. You
Yeah,
know?
because it's the same as like, for example, for a tennis player, it's very easy to find what does an academy system look like.
Mm-hmm.
For a performer, it's easy to see what their college looks like. For a performer artist, what the life of a performing artist looks like, training life looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But for a K-pop idol, and I'm talking about the big boys, you know what I mean? They don't really talk that much on like diet-wise. They don't really talk that much and get specific about it. I know there are a lot of female idols that talk about the whole weight stuff.
Male idols get that too. They get weight shamed all the time. Male idols. It's very strange. And then this guy start losing weight out of nowhere, and then everybody's talking about it, and he makes the headlines and stuff.
Here is my opinion on that.
So weird.
Losing weight, right? If you are overweight and you're losing weight to be at a healthy weight, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're at a healthy weight and you're losing weight
for aesthetic purposes.
No, it's not aesthetic. It's aesthetically pleasing to some, where you're really skinny, but that may not be healthy for you. I believe that's wrong.
But it's what the market is demanding. It's
what
the market requires.
Bloody hell,
so.
it's a business. Mate, business isn't moral all the time. You
Never.
know what I mean?
Business isn't immoral ever.
Well, yeah. Actually, most of the time, good business,
are very immoral.
It's not moral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very bizarre. But yeah.
There are no morals.
Well, I was watching a documentary about that, and one of the people that kept coming up, actually, it was Huasa. The fact that she has such a, I think, one of the best bodies, probably, in the whole Korean industry.
Yeah.
But it's ironic because then
she's actually seen
by the media, she's seen. But I don't even think the general population would see her as unattractive. I don't think they would.
No, but I think
I've showed it to my friends and stuff.
Because we have westernized
that's what I mean.
Views and perspective. But in the Korean industry, in the Korean culture, seeing somebody who has a bit of curves is seen as fat, plain and simple.
Oh, yeah, that's attractive.
Not as somebody who is healthy, not as somebody who is sensual.
But isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that in like South America, for example,
that is so like
that's the sought out after look.
Exactly. I was gonna say people. I remember
in America the same.
I remember my skinny friends in high school they would eat like 5 times a day, like freaking fat meals, just so they could gain weight. And I was like, I just want a fat ass. And I'm like, okay, just go
It's
ahead for it.
that's something very very interesting I find with sort of beauty standards across the world,
Yeah. It's
and
so weird.
how different it is, and sort of what each industry kind of demands from you.
Yeah, and yeah, what is seen as acceptable as and as not in all parts of the world. Because actually, back home, actually, I would like to say this is just me assuming, but
I mean,
I
we're a
think
bunch of morons. We
yeah,
don't know factually if
from
we're right or not, but I'm
but
just
I
saying.
know based on my experience living in South America, seeing somebody skinny is seen as like she's ill, or he's ill. Like you gotta
Yeah.
get some weight on, you know?
That would be the comment they would make.
Yeah. It's like, oh, está flaco. Come.
They would never tell you.
Mira, siéntate aquí, párate arroz con pollo, you know, because you're too skinny. That's what my grandma used to say to me. Like,
Even
oh,
if you
just
looked great,
Yeah,
they'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
gotta eat more.
Yeah, because you're too skinny. That's what they would say to you, right?
Yeah.
But
Especially
but then-
grandmas.
Yeah. They will feed you till you're like about to die.
Literally.
But I don't know what it's like in Korea. Like, based on what people have said and very little things that I've read on the internet and stuff, there is some type of like apprehensive look to people that are a little overweight. Like the ideal weight in Korea for women, I read somewhere, is 50 kilograms. No matter what size or how tall, how long.
Yeah, you see, that's just plain wrong.
Isn't it? Because no 50 kilos doesn't apply to everybody. If you're 5'2", 50 kilos seems like a doable thing, right?
Well, there's science for that. You can check your BMI, body fat percentage matters, your physical attributes matters.
Yeah.
So it's not that simple to find out what your ideal weight is, because there's so many individual differences involved.
I know, but if
So
you're like
the fact that they
5'9",
said,
to say that you're 50 kilos,
you'll have to be skinny as.
you're freaking dying.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've noticed that. Like, I'm not blind. You can see the typical body type in K-pop, and then you can see the sought out after body type in America, right? You can see the huge differences, especially on the female side. On the male side, what I notice is that they actually mostly look healthy, like very genuinely. And I think you've noticed me seeing it, say it in some videos. They're very athletic. They're in great shape. That's the other thing that I don't understand with the females. Is like some of them, if they really are starving themselves and stuff like that, how they keep up with the regime, I have no idea. Superhumans.
I really
And
don't know.
and I would think an agency would want, or a label would want them. Well, I want my performer to be optimal weight, as healthy as possible, while looking aesthetically pleasing, so that she could keep up with this. Because then we're gonna have to take years off. Because then we're gonna have to take months off. Then I'm gonna have to hire a psychologist and a nutritionist and all this stuff because she's underweight or she's overweight. So it's, I would think it would make sense to try and not only have all these things in place, but not have them in place in a matter which is optimal for that person, so that then you don't get as much fluctuations in performances and stuff like that. But yeah,
but I think that's why the window of success of performers all over the world that have such pressurized standards around them is so short, is so small.
it's a short career, regardless.
Because there is so much a person can do, humanly possible, you know. Like you can't be fighting a weight fluctuation your whole career, right? Your whole freaking career, because before you even go out and be famous, you're already fighting with that stuff, because that's the look that you're after, because that's the look that people would want to hire.
Well, because you're trying to get in the industry. Yeah.
Exactly. So then trying to maintain that, and then on top of that, everything else that happens once you are already somebody in the industry. I also see it in the world amongst dancers. Dude, now with this route of diversity in the industry has opened up so many windows for so many people, so many opportunities. But the old school type of way for dancers, it's pretty hard on, you know? You got this type of look, you gotta be this type of height, you gotta be this type of person, you gotta do this type of things, and if you don't fit in any of those, or if you got one wrong, you don't fit in the rest, you know?
See.
So those are very narrow little windows, and once you get them all in place, to maintain that is like a superhuman ability, right? So there is so there is really not a lot of longevity in that type of lifestyle.
Well, regardless, it is a short career. Regardless of what it is, you know,
Yeah.
it's a short career compared to other careers. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's, I think, anyways, and I'd love to hear how you guys feel about this. But I just feel that both extremes are bad. Like incredibly overweight. I mean, just overweight, because that's why it's called overweight. You're over your weight, or underweight because you're under your optimal weight. I think both are
Yeah, are
not
unhealthy.
only detrimental to your performance as an artist, but it's also detrimental to your health. So, and if you want to have a long career, you have to get a hold of that. The thing that I thought was really interesting, because not many people speak about, and I have noticed other fellow creators speak about it, but one of you sent out this. It wasn't this specific article, but articles like these, which we're talking about. Mentioned it before. What's the income like during those training years for them? K-pop idols. What's their income like now? Let's not. I'm trying not to use too many examples as like BTS, Blackpink, EXO, GOT7. You know, people that are absolutely blowing, both internationally and in their own nationally, or in Asia, I guess. But I couldn't really find anything about like the average K-pop star, or maybe K-pop people that, or K-pop idols that we don't really hear much about, but they're still touring, they're still performing, they're upcoming. But most people just seem to be focusing on, you know, the big dogs, because I guess the numbers are more impressive and they sell more clicks on their articles and stuff. But
Yeah.
this comes from a former K-pop idol called Prince Mac.
Okay.
Um,
Does it say what group he used to be in?
no. And he says
Google it.
that very few idols actually see how much of that money that they end up making in their bands ends in their own pockets.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. But by the way, the whole millions of dollars and this whole idea of what's your dancer? Henry. He's Australian. He's with JCC.
Debuted with the group JCC in 2014 under management of
By Jackie Chan.
By Jackie Chan. Oh my God.
Whoa.
He recently uploaded a vlog on YouTube in which
He talks
about
experiences
experiences while being a part of the group
and
what he
plans for the future. That's awesome. That's all. He's been very vocal. He's 30 years old and he's from Australia. So that's awesome that he's been.
He looks 17.
Yeah.
No
That
joke.
he's very vocal, and he says that these companies have a system.
Dude, he doesn't look a day of 18.
Yeah. These companies have a system called break even, in which all the money earned by its idols go towards paying back all the money invested in them, such as training, food, accommodation, staff, and production. I'm pretty sure most of you that follow the K-pop world know this, but I thought this would be interesting for people that are just getting into K-pop, like we are, or they're just interested in how other industries work. And it says Prince Mac says, sick name by the way, says that an average rookie K-pop idol group earns about $4,000 per show, more if they're overseas. More bloody reasons to go overseas and international.
More money.
Which is then broken down
I
to
was
a
gonna say-
90%, 10% split.
So they get a 10% of that money.
Jesus
and the
Christ.
rest stays with the agency. That makes
But
sense.
normal, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But normal.
It makes sense. When you read agency contracts.
Yeah, it's about normal,
It's
actually.
about
A bit more, actually.
No, actually, if you want to get into a good agency, like a good offer for an agency, it's like when they give you like 15 to 20%.
You mean agency or label?
No, agencies, because they do the same. Labels are different, but when you put it into perspective, that's the only point of comparison I've got.
Of that 10% going to the artist, it is then split between all the members, of course, so in reality it's not 10% of a group before it is spent repaying back debts, meaning that it's incredibly difficult to earn any money. Using an AOA as an example, Chris Mack
AOA.
says that while they debuted in 2012, they didn't get huge until a few years later. Still, it took them until the end of 2015 when they finally paid off their debts and could finally start earning money. So I guess it's sort of this...
It's like
university to some extent, like a student loan.
It's like paying back your student loan. It's like paying a career. It's paying your career back. It's like paying the government for, enabling to like your financial aid.
That's what I think. I think one of the most important skills that an artist can learn. We'll just do this. That an artist can learn, apart from refining their craft, and keep adding badges and stars to the name. So like in the military, you know, you do stuff, you get your badges, and you become a more formidable force to be reckoned with. I think, and one of the things that they should learn, which of course they won't ever be taught, they will have to be learned this on their own, is learning how to market themselves, learning how to build a following on their own, learning how to be as successful as they can for as long as they can independently.
That there's a few good examples in the K-pop industry that do that, and between that is Jackson Wang, Lay,
Yeah.
Henry,
Yeah.
Henry Lau from he used to be in Super Junior, I think.
Don't know.
In like the Chinese.
You've mentioned them before as well. I said yeah, but I don't really know who it is.
And they learned really early on.
Jay Park is obviously one of them.
Jay Park, well, but Jay Park learned the hard way. He learned the hard way.
Yeah.
He realized that he had to make a whole life for himself.
Dean Independent? No.
It didn't. I don't.
He's not independent.
He's not independent. Yeah, I don't think he's independent. But
well, Jay Park is not independent. He's got his own label.
Totally different. Psy from also discovered that they had to.
To some extent, JYP, you could say, he did kind of figured out the same way.
Exactly, but they figured out that the industry is ruthless, and they had to make something for themselves.
Because you gotta be losing for too many years.
Regardless of being in a label or not.
Yeah.
Like how do you handle both things at the same time? And I think I read Jackson speak about it, because he just opened his store with all his designs and merch and stuff.
Good man.
It's huge for him. That's a huge step. And he was talking about how he understood really early on that the more that you gain popularity and you know how to handle that popularity yourself,
You gotta funnel it.
you got but the more you are seen as an an unstoppable force, even in the same label. So they start giving you a persona even when they haven't done that for you. You see that? So it's a positive in all ways, all way rounds. So he was talking about trying to spread out roots in as many ways as possible.
Well,
like
it is.
We're saying.
At the end of the day, it is led by people, that label. So if they perceive you as a big deal, and they know you're doing other stuff, and you're also a big deal somewhere else and other places, your stock value goes through the roof, which I think is something amazing, something that Jackson Wang does amazingly. He excels at interviews. He is a great salesman of himself. He has his brand, his store. He has these collaborations with Western artists. He fits both worlds really well. So
I think, but he has actively worked for that, and the label hasn't done that for him.
Good,
you know.
Good.
And I think that's something really important, because
great lessons there for everyone.
For everybody,
for us.
Everybody in the world, anyone who's trying to make a living out of being an artist. I think it's important to know that if you want to succeed at something, you have to do it for yourself, even when you have the tools already. Because a lot of people think that once that you're with a label, with such a like,
huge
for example,
label.
huge label like JYP, like he is with, right? You would think that the job is done then. They would do the things for you. They would take care of these things for you.
Time to relax. You've gone through the training years. You've debuted.
You can focus on only doing what you wanted to do, which is performing, focusing on the rest of your training.
No, you're only focusing on what they're telling you to do.
Exactly, but that they're also letting you, kind of want you to believe that you're doing this for yourself, because that's all the whole purpose of the whole thing is, right?
Okay.
But then you stop taking care of the things that will make you grow without them. Because once these contracts are done, once you decide this is it, or you have done your job and you're not gonna get a renewal contract, then what next, right? What next? What happens next?
Yeah.
Sign with another label, try to hunt down everything from zero again? You know, it's really interesting that there are people out there that are taking the little free time that they've got and translating it into something.
That's what every artist should be encouraged to do, especially in the Korean industry, because they go through a systematized, yeah, well, they go through a system, don't they, where there's a beginning and there's an end, and you're always being led. You're never leading.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're the leader of a group, you're never really leading. So it's
You become the face of the group, but that you're not really calling the shots there.
it's a lesson that I don't think many Korean artists get to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe when they do, they realize maybe when it's too late. That's something that, for example, in the Western world, most artists notice that pretty early on.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do. They really do. And the objective, rappers are noticing it way more than ever now. The objective
Earlier
is
as well.
now
Yeah.
blow, so that then I can do whatever I want by being independent.
Yep.
So, and now because there's so many good role models, Tory Lanez has managed to do it, Chris Brown has done it, Thug has done it. So it's now like a common goal. I think that should also be the common goal over there, because all of these guys could absolutely blow alone. Like, one of the things I don't understand is, like, if there's so many boundaries that the label proposes and puts in place, why? You know what I mean? And then I think you must come to a point, and again, I don't know what it's like to be in there. I've never been in there, so I'm just presuming. But they must come to a point where you're like,
what is the real purpose of all of this?
no, what have I
Achieved
given
for
in
myself, yeah.
what have I given away in order to achieve this?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting article. I don't think I finished it. Yeah, so after they pay their debt, that's finally after 2015 when AOA started making money.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's
That's really rough. What other thing
that's really strange.
did I find out? Oh yeah, Billie Eilish is gonna come back next week.
Woo woo! We'll be waiting for some sweet new tunes from Billie Eilish.
Out next Thursday.
Ah.
It's called My Future. I thought it was gonna be featuring Future. I was like, what the fuck? It has.
Oh, I'm really excited. She's
Yeah.
awesome.
She's only 18.
I know, she's awesome.
What
I really
else?
like her music.
Has released this week. Chris Brown released with Jacquees.
Jacquees. Mr. Jacquees.
Putting in Work, I think it's called. He also released another song. Well, he released the video for Going Crazy
Yeah, that was fun.
with Young Thug.
That was a fun video.
Now I can no longer hear City Girls without seeing Lisa,
Yeah.
dancing. Was it Taylor Swift has released? We'll be watching that shortly on the channel. What else?
One Direction's like, what was it, decade?
10-year anniversary.
Yeah, 10-year anniversary happened as well. Freaking crazy.
Who else has released? Oh yeah, J Balvin, Dua Lipa, Bad Bunny.
Ah, my God! And they used the girl from Casa de Papel.
Taney. I don't know her name, but there's someone else called Taney there. I don't know who they are.
No, I don't remember. What's her name? Here, I'll show you. She's freaking beautiful. She's Tokyo. That's what they call her. That's the name
Really?
of like her character on.
KSI released. Jake Paul released as well, weirdly at the same time.
Tokyo.
Pink Sweat has released an EP, which was good. The last 3 songs were the best songs.
Ursula Corbero. That's her. That's her. Yeah, she's so freaking cool. But her and Ozuna, J Balvin, I mean, Ozuna, where he came from, they're really good friends, and they've done tons of like live Insta lives together, and they're
nice.
like they're hilarious.
We'll be watching
They're
it.
so good. I adore her. She's hilarious. She's so great. Do you want to answer some questions, sir?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much that's pretty much all the stories
Yes.
that I thought.
Oh my God! Somebody just asked if I want to have kids. How many? Wow. Okay. You want to have kids, Afra? How many?
Well, not yet.
No, not yet. No.
I don't know.
No.
Don't want to have kids?
No. I don't know.
You have a conflict.
No, I don't know.
So you don't have to answer the question if you don't want to.
I don't know. I'm just answering in my head. I'm just having a moment.
Yeah, I think I definitely would. I'd like to be a dad when I'm like older.
Like how old? 60? Is that a good age for you?
I don't know.
Have you lived your life by then?
I've never actually really thought about that hard?
Mm,
Or seriously?
I don't know. I don't know. I think those are completely two different lifestyles.
To be a good thumbnail. Vale's about to have babies? You too, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I guess the idea is nice, but you would have to like settle down and all of that, and I don't know.
Logic retired now because he's gonna be a father, or he is a father. So
That's cute though.
I feel
Yeah, but I
if
don't
I
know
was
if
gonna
I-
have kids, I think I'd want to give them all the time possible.
Everything exactly. So that's
But also
that's
our
my
parents
conflict.
were also working all the time, but we also spent every day with them.
Yeah, that's also true.
My father did get to a point where he was working so much, and he left for a while, to go abroad, and then came back, and then he sort of realized, I don't want to leave again. So I guess that is sort of like a bit of a dilemma.
Yeah, I would think I would have to find the right partner, somebody who understands my career, and somebody that would understand their career as well. Like,
bloody hell.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very complicated
It is
question
complex.
to ask.
You don't have to answer if you want.
No, I am answering. Kids, meh. Kids, you wanna have kids, meh. That's so funny. How many artists do you react to actually listen to on a normal day? How many? That's hard.
A lot.
A lot. I
Genuinely
think majority of the things that we react to actually we listen back to.
The majority.
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
The majority.
Definitely.
Yes.
From like say we do a podcast.
I think there are very few little that we don't listen to
Yeah, I mean.
that often.
If they're very pop heavy, probably won't listen to them that often.
Or that maybe we just don't simply vibe with. There are a couple that we just don't.
If like for example, NCT's Punch or Kick It, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that repackaged thing from Kick It.
I don't listen to that, but I
Yeah.
like watching the video.
Yes, that's true. Same as Dreamcatcher. I love them for what they are.
Yeah.
And I think they've got this really weird, cool concept about them. So it's really cool. It's like video games, but it's so intense that I don't think I can listen to it. Like I don't listen to it on a daily. Like I don't vibe that way.
French. I think every French artist, maybe apart from Gambi or Niska, I haven't really listened to this week, but everyone else I've listened to.
Yeah.
Often.
Oh my god, Brazilian funk. We listen to Brazilian funk really often.
Often. A lot of Marilia Mendoza in this house.
Oh my god. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Italian music on my own time.
American.
Well, it's so popular
lot,
here
yeah.
in the UK, so it's like me. We
Who
listen to
else?
it all the time.
Spanish. Everyone we ever listened to
Absolutely.
is on my playlist.
Absolutely, every single artist and more that we haven't reacted to the channel. We're huge advocates for Spanish music. I think that's one of my favorites.
Some of the best music I've ever heard in my life.
Yes, for sure. I'm moving to Andalusia, and that's decided. I've made that decision.
Yeah.
I am moving.
Yeah, genuinely, I think it would be really cool. One video alone, or maybe in a podcast or whatever, to show you what a playlist looks like.
Our favorites.
Because it is nuts. Like you will be. I think people will be like, what the f?
It's so random. It's so random because there are so many great things about so many artists in so many different genres that when they come together in my playlist, it's like you're driving through the universe.
Your playlist was already weird. Mine was
Excuse me.
Mine was all
I'm
hip
just
hop.
experimental, alright?
Mine was all hip hop and like ballads.
No, not that much. You were really into, like before.
No, sorry. Hip hop and R&B. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's it.
that was it. That was you. You're a little bit narrow there.
Hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
No, but now.
So broad.
No. Before that, it was really broad. I just don't listen to it often. I didn't listen to it often.
But now you do.
In public. But now, because
now it's like come out in the open.
now, because in the house, everyone's heard it because we're either watching it or we're talking about it, and then there's questions asked, and then the people search it up. I do listen to it on the speakers. However, before I was listening to, blues and jazz and stuff in my own time.
I see.
What,
were you embarrassed?
Not really. I don't know.
Why would you?
Late at night, I can't blast it out, can I? When I feel like listening to music, I feel like blasting out hip hop or R&B. Yeah.
That's why you give us the most.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So bad. It gets so much sometimes. Efra becomes a little bit obsessed with the songs and the things he likes. Like a tiny bit obsessed. And he plays, if he likes one song, he will play it until he hates it, okay? But like on a row, so many times. It gets intense.
Oh, yeah,
sometimes.
Bryson Tiller released as well. Well, actually, Kyle released, featuring Bryson. It's like a 2.5-minute song.
That's a really good song, though.
It's a good song, yeah. If you like Bryson Tiller, I'm a huge
mad.
Bryson Tiller fan. Search out.
I'm not mad that you have played that like over 300 times. I'm actually not mad at that.
He released an album, actually. Not a big fan of the album, but he released an album.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Right. Let's see what else. Tell us about you and Efra's dirty little habits and secrets. I don't think I have any secrets. I'm pretty open about everything in my life.
Like,
Secrets.
dirty secrets. Dirty in what sense? Like, it's
like
nasty?
I think things that you wouldn't
Or cheeky?
tell people. Yeah. Things that you wouldn't tell people, like, just in a random.
I mean, I don't know if this is the appropriate time. I just, I don't know. Like,
I'm an open book. I think what you
piss
see
off,
is what.
mate.
But it is, though. Oh my god, that was so defensive. What was that
I
about?
just don't like when people say that. It's like, oh, everything. It's like, no, there must be something. You know what I mean? It's like, there must be something. You know?
It's like, you liar.
Yeah. I don't know what mine is, but I'm pretty sure it is. There is, like a few. Let's see.
You've made me question everything about myself. Let's see.
Oh, I guess like a secret, not something that people don't know that much about me, is that there was a time I was like 15, 14, 14.
Shit, where is this going to?
14 to like, actually until now, it still creeps in and every now and then, which is, I used to hang around with these girls that they were listening to acoustic Justin Bieber from 2000
yes.
like early Justin Bieber.
I remember that.
And I was hanging around with, all my friends, and my friends were into hip hop and hardcore stuff.
I remember that.
And I would have in my iPod, like Fall by Justin Bieber, acoustic, or Yellow Raincoat,
Oh my god, those songs.
One World. It was crazy. Because I used to hang around with these girls that I was really into them.
It's like your guilty pleasure was early Justin
No,
Bieber.
it's just that it was kind of like I had, at that point I was a bit nervy when it came to chicks, and I sort of thought in my head it was like, well, you have to build common ground.
If I like this,
you must.
You're gonna like me.
You cannot express what you actually feel. You must feel common ground. So I just sort of forced down my throat early Justin Bieber, even though I hated it.
You liked it though.
And now
I liked it.
I liked it. It clicked. I'm like, actually, this is not bad.
Oh,
and then I would hang around with these girls and stuff, and it would be fun now. After that, it got fun because we sort of had that inside joke, and they obviously knew I kind of had it as a secret.
I see.
So then we would hang around after school, and we would go eat and stuff, and
we were secretly listening to Justin Bieber in an alley.
I think I was like 14 at the time, but and he lasted for like a year, like where it was really hardcore. But then after I got over these girls,
you got over just Justin Bieber.
No, he was still in my playlist every now and then, but I would forget that he was in my playlist because I would still enjoy listening to early Justin Bieber.
Oh no, that's
But then
bad.
I had all rap, Eminem, Royce da 5'9", and all these people, and I would play. My phone would go on aux chords and stuff like that, and then sometimes random Justin Bieber.
Oh, right there.
That's a secret.
Skip.
I think that's a secret. I don't think many people probably knew that I was into early Justin Bieber when I was like, young. And he was sort of like, you remember back then when he was
Yeah. It was like,
bro, you're into that?
Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
Now he's fine.
Yeah, Justin Bieber before the Calvin Klein ad was like shameful.
I don't know about that. I just think boys would make fun of you slightly.
Yeah.
But also, boys are a bit, boys will be boys, won't we? So we're a bit stupid. So when you get older, you just don't care. Suck on this, mate. I'm listening to whatever I want to listen to. But before, you're sort of like so aware and...
I don't know. Let's see. I don't think...
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Okay, morning person, night owl. Morning person, night owl. Yes, he's a night
Oh,
owl.
right.
I'm a morning person. I adore the mornings. I love waking up.
I thought you were choosing, like morning person
No,
or night.
morning person, night owl.
Yeah, it's actually true. Yeah.
I love waking up with the dawn as the sun is rising, as the birds are singing, and life seems so sweet at 5 o'clock in the morning. I adore that.
No, I come to life at night time.
I just love it. I just get this sense of grateful living, and I'm so alive, and everything is just so. I awake to the smell of coffee.
I come to life at night time, and then I don't live in the morning time.
That's so true. He goes to bed like 3 o'clock, wakes up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Especially
and be like, well, time to get up.
especially when partying was still a thing. It isn't anymore. You know, like clubs and stuff like that. And we will bang out night after night. 3 nights in a row, and then we'd have training early morning. Oh my gosh, hate it.
If I would come back home at like 6 o'clock in
Destroyed.
the afternoon, looking like a hell of a zombie, like he went through war.
What do you reckon though? What do you reckon? If you're under 2 hours sleep, to train on, or
I do it all the time. Well, I used to do it all the time, especially because there was a whole period where I was working at a bar, and I was also waitering tables at this restaurant. So I had to do really late nights, and like I would come home. I would finish in the restaurant around 3 o'clock in the morning, like in the bar at 3 o'clock in the morning, give or take. So I would come home around 4, take a shower, go to bed, get up at 6, because I had to be at the restaurant at 5 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. So that wasn't like I think I kind of got used to that, and then I started gigging and stuff, and that pattern repeated itself. So I would have to like coach in the morning the day after, or do something else really early on the next day.
Yeah.
And it's never really bothered me, it's never like I don't.
Yeah, I do know.
It's because you don't have caffeine in your system.
I do know
For
that.
me, that's perfect.
That it bothers me, and there's people that it doesn't bother them. Like you're one of them. Also,
Yeah.
my best, some of my best friends, they're crazy. Like they could literally
3 nights in a row.
3 nights in a row
without,
have a tournament on Monday morning. Their first match is like at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and we'll be fine.
We went out, and then we came back at 6 o'clock to a hotel or something, and then they're just out and about at 5:50 or at 6:50. Oh yeah, we're a bit late. Let's go.
Yeah.
And now their match is at 7:30 or whatever, and they're just blessed to go. And I'm like, what the? I'm barely watching their match, just going.
Yeah, no, for me, I can go on for hours, but when I crash, and I don't care where I am.
You crashed for hours, bro. I thought one day,
bad.
I thought Bali crashed one day.
I crashed bad.
You came back.
I think I did an all-nighter.
No, not this time.
Oh,
You came back, and
Not
you
that
must have had a wild night. Wild night out with your friends and stuff. They dropped you off. You couldn't even find the doorknob. you
You're bringing that out?
You come up. No, you come up and stuff, and then you have food, and I don't know what the hell you were thinking, but you went back to bed. You went to bed, right? You went to bed, and I think you slept
like 20 hours?
for like 27 hours straight. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna have to call my parents? I think Bali has just died. I genuinely think Bali is dead. She hasn't moved. She not even to go to the toilet, to the bathroom or something. She just sort of stayed there, dead. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was really worried. And I was like, should I wake her up? What is she, if I wake her up, she might be like an ogre. She might attack me, So I just sort of left you. And at nighttime, a day and a half later, bro, you wake up. And
I'm like, hello, life is beautiful.
No, you wake up like one of those kids after a little nap.
What is there to eat?
You had like your blanket.
Belly.
You had your blanket on your left hand, your phone on the right hand, and you did this to your eye with your wrist, like this. Like morning. Like morning? I thought you were dead. You must have been wilding through that night. It was crazy. I was so worried, but I didn't call anyone. I just
like, well, she must,
if
died.
she is died. If she did die, it would stink. I imagine. So, well, you didn't. So, you'd smelled actually of.
That's so funny. I can't believe you brought that up. I was I was gonna say that I
Nothing wrong with that story.
No. No,
It means
the
you
fact-
party hard, mate.
and I sleep harder. Social introverts right here. Socializing for 2 hours.
Yeah, but you don't even
Has to-
drink. That's why it was so crazy. I think
Yeah.
it's just because you went for so long.
Yeah, I think it depends because I just love dancing. Like that's the thing.
But
That's
I think
the reason
I think
go
that
out
night
for.
you went out like at 4 o'clock, but it was dark because it was winter.
Yeah.
You went out at 4 o'clock in
And
the
then I
evening.
came back in the like at
Fucking
5?
5 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah,
and I'm
five,
like, this
yeah.
motherfucker,
12
she's crazy.
hours, yeah, I go out.
And then you see your stories, you're like bars and this place and this place.
I like the other place and this place.
Oh, what the? This girl is crazy. Yeah, you're having an amazing
A
time.
ball.
Yeah. Anyways, what is your craziest party story? I guess.
That you slept for 26 hours.
I think it was like 27, dude. I kid you not.
Oh my god.
I was like writing a memorial thing and everything.
If she dies, I think she would like to leave this too.
I get her room.
Ephra would get her room.
Yeah, you have the best wardrobe, so
Thanks.
I'll get that. Don't mind what's in it. I just throw everything away.
My god, at least give it to charity.
Yours
if I
lights
die.
up, mate. Yours lights
Yeah.
up. It's brilliant.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for
That was fun.
yeah, thanks for coming by, and hope you had a good one. We
Yes.
definitely did. So
We had a little good time.
not really many albums to review this week or anything really.
Except for Taylor Swift. But
maybe-
we will check that out.
Maybe we'll do that. You guys let us know if you'd like us to see that. I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. Head, I guess, whatever you call it. You know, Taylor Swift head. Taylor Swift fan.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Not big. I'm big on her, anyways. But yeah, I used to like her when she was country, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways,
Yeah.
peace.
Wow, that was so abrupt.
Sup, people? If you're a dancer. Sup, people? If you're watching this and you're a rapper or a beat producer,
A singer, a ghostwriter, or even just somebody who likes new music.
then this is for you.
Feature Friday is the show where we make new music every week featuring your tracks, your raps, your lyrics, or yourself as an artist.
There's no catch. This isn't one of those weird posts where you click on the website and you're trying to order AirPods and they say it's free and then you have to pay like $100,000 million for shipping. This is completely free. We understand how difficult it is in the music industry to get seen, and there's so many amazing rappers and singers and beat producers out there. So this is just a place to showcase your skills. We showcase our skills. We make music every week, which we love doing anyways. We get to show new artists to new people and new people to new artists.
So if you'd like to get featured next, message me here on Instagram or email me and we will get in touch pretty soon.
Please do it fast because a waiting list is forming and we don't want anyone waiting around. Keep scrolling by.
See you Friday!
Peace!
Bye-bye!